ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. In this video, let us examine what is a dreaming state. You see, when the senses have ceased to work, yet the images can be seen when the eyes are closed, is called a dreaming state. The sages say the unfulfilled desires and unsatisfied desires, whatever they are, which are left incomplete in the waking state, are fulfilled in dreams. So, for instance, a man is fasting on a pious day, but he is very fond of eating delicious food. So, he has gone to a function and could not eat the delicious food available there because of his woe of fasting. So, when he sleeps, the delicious food he has seen outside, he could see it in his dream and enjoy it. So, when the senses are inactive, but the experiences accumulated by the senses can be experienced again in the dreams. It is like this. See, in the dream state, the object is outside, but the image is inside. The image of that object is within us. So, that's why and that's how we are able to experience it in the dream. See, in sleep, the hands are unmoving, but in the dream state, you can feel that touch, what you have experienced outside. Similarly, the sounds are there outside, and the sound of that outside music, that melodious music, the experience of that melodious music can be heard within when you are sleeping and in a dream state. Similarly, the eyes have seen a beautiful object outside, and the image of that beautiful object can be seen again in the dream. So, what you are seeing in a dream state are the pure forms of those objects, of the images of those objects. So, how is it possible? You see, the forms, how they are created in the dream. Those forms of the objects which are in the outside world are the experiences of the sense organs, either eye or ear or nose or touch. So, whatever the experiences experienced by the sense organs are accumulated in the brain cells in the form of impressions. So, in the brain, it is informed or told or discovered that there are more than 10,000 million cells. So, the experiences accumulated by the senses are stored as impressions in the respective cells of the brain. Though the skull of a man may look small, it has got so many brain cells that it contains the whole world. Not only the whole world, but different worlds in it. So, whenever an unfulfilled desire or unsatisfied desire is there, in the dream state, those records are opened and played again and again. The record of the impressions gathered by the senses or accumulated by the senses or collected by the senses by various experiences and stored in the cells of the brain are repeated again and again in the form of dreams. So, scientists have discovered that the dreams of the man can be studied or can be read. How? by means of a device called electrode, they are able to connect this device to the cells of the brain, and whichever cell they want to activate, they can activate through this device and can read what is stored in that. It means, reading means, the same person, though he is reluctant, when connected to that device, electrode, when his brain cells are connected to that electrode, the same man will repeat what is stored in that particular cell of the brain. So, this is how it works. So, the dream state will operate without the help of the senses and without the help of the objects in the outside world. So, for a man, dream is a kind of device through which he can operate and function in his own world, oblivious of the happenings outside in the world. So, in this regard, you must have read and heard about Hitler of Germany. So, in Second World War, in Berlin, Hitler was in a bunker because the other forces are able to capture and win over, and it is in the final, the battle is in the final stages and the war is going on in the streets. So, the chief of army has come and told Hitler that we are losing the battle. You know what Hitler told? This man is sick and is telling a lie, so fire him. So, he has fired him. See, everybody knows that they are losing the battle, but he was asleep and dreaming that he will win the war, though at the edge, at the fag end, that in losing the battle or war. So, that is how the man is asleep. So, how to overcome or how to shatter the dreams? Unless the dreams are shattered or destroyed, man will not be awake. He will not come to the waking state. So, how to shatter the dreams. If the man is totally alive and awake in the daytime, when he lives totally in whatever activity he does, not half-heartedly. Whatever he does, if he does it wholeheartedly, and whatever the efforts, when he puts it wholeheartedly, with all the trust, then there will not be any residue of that lacking or of that incompleteness in him. So, when he lives totally, what is left to be dreamt or to fulfill it in any dream? So, the first thing is, when he lives totally in whatever activity he undertakes or in whatever activity he does, there will not be any scope for any dreams. So, all spiritual practices are meant only to make the man alive, awake and alert. So, in full awareness and in full consciousness, when he does anything and everything, then there is no possibility for a man to commit any kind of any kind of a wrong thing in his life. So, that consciousness, when the consciousness is not asleep, when the consciousness is never lost, even in sleep, such a man, how can he dream of anything? How can such a man of full awareness and consciousness can commit any wrong? And whatever he does in full consciousness and awareness becomes a virtue. So, in that state only, in that state of awareness only, in that state of liveliness only, the dreams can be shattered and destroyed. Then, what is sleep? We are all sleeping, but do we know what sleep is? Deep sleep is. The sleep is such when it is sunset, when sun is setting and darkness is about to dawn, then when you are able to notice that descending of sleep in you, like the sun is setting and darkness is coming. So in that, when you notice that kind of awareness of descendance of the sleep, then the real sleep, the sleep of awareness happens. You are asleep, but you never lost your consciousness. So, if we do not know when the sleep is dawning us, such a man, how can he know himself? How can he acquaint with himself? So, be aware even in sleep. It means there is another element of spirit in you which is observing the dawning of sleep, the descendance of sleep, and it never loses its consciousness even during the sleep. So that state is the real state of sleep, when you are aware even in sleep and doesn't lose your consciousness. So when you come to that state, then there is another state called Turiya. About that state we will try to examine in detail in the next video. Thank you.